Good morning, folks. We're just out just after 6 a.m. Come on, lad. We're just having a think about regime change. Sorry about the scruffy beard. I haven't had the will to shave it off this week. The stubble. Debbie's not happy about it. I'll get it off later on when I've had my haircut. She keeps telling me I need it chopped. So I have it done about 3 times a year, that's all. It doesn't grow that fast anyway. But yeah, regime change. And the history of regime change, folks, with all these countries that get invaded. Yeah. And then freedom for the people from off of this supposed regime change. Yeah, actually disappears even more. Any freedoms you had are taken away. And these regimes come in whereby they then control the land. And you basically have got to pay for the rest of your lives and onwards to live on that land, to work, etc., folks. And they give us this illusion of freedom that has its limits. You know, it's just crazy. Sit and think about it all, folks. And these people in these countries now that are being invaded for their oil and stuff, and all these mass immigrations that are fake, and the regime change for this country here is taking place, and we don't even know that. Who knows it, folks? But there's a regime change here. There's a regime change across Europe. There's a regime change in just about every civilised fucking country. They call us civilised anyway. Crazy. And these regime changes are coming with all these migrants. But you sit and just think about it logically, folks. Think about what's being set up for them and taken from us. Think about what is being set up for these people coming in with all this free money and free driving licenses and free mortgages and all the rest of it, folks. And what's being taken from us whilst this free stuff's being given to them, or the illusion of the free stuff, folks, because it doesn't last for very long. And then they too then get ensnared and trapped, webbed into this system, this ongoing system, this brilliant system that can't fail, folks. Because once we're gone, it continues. The taxes, the gratuities that are owed to these controllers that are beyond government, folks. Government's just the fucking fall guy, the thing to get blamed when things, you know, get a little bit hectic. But just have a think about what I'm saying, folks. Regime change is here. It's taking place. It has been for a long time. It's probably even constant, perpetual, in motion, folks. As we move from one system, shitstem, into another. That's how I see it anyway. You've only got to look back through history. Their history, what they call it, folks. You know, all wars always end up about controlling a country and its assets and its oil. Yeah, look at what's happening around the world now. People are panic buying this, that and the other thing, folks. Yeah, and we're falling back into this trap. You know, these people that are doing this to us, beyond governments are just the ones that instigate these systems. The ones that plan it stay hidden. Just think about what's happening around the world, folks. Massive price increases again to make sure that we never get out of that fucking just below or just above the poverty line bubble that some of us find ourselves in, folks. The more I think about it, the more I realise that, you know, freedom has gone. It's been gone. Goodness knows how long. All my life, anyway. Because you can't do anything without money, folks. You can't. You can't live off the land without being fucking deemed a freak. You know, anyone that tries to set up a little bit of an homestead in the woods off-grid, you know, is always being looked at and frowned upon as being a bit fucking oddball. Yet, that's where we came from. That's our roots, folks. You know, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, they didn't have electricity. They didn't pay fucking petrol prices and all that fucking nonsense, folks. They didn't have secure jobs. They lived off the land. They lived off their fucking wits. And it's time people started thinking outside of this box that we're in at the moment, folks. This modern box they tell us is civilized, because it's not. It's not. We've come so far forwards, we're told, with technologies and that, yeah? And yet we're still fighting wars. We still can't cure a single fucking thing, yeah? We're still living under the promise of no more wars. Still living under the promise of no more fucking starvation. Still living under the promise of no more fucking anything, folks. No more war, eh? No more war, yeah. No more cancer. No more this, that and the other thing. We're making strides. It leaps and fucking bounds as we move forwards with technology, folks. And yet we're curing fuck all. Yeah. And the debt bubble just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. I didn't create that debt bubble. Yeah. I didn't create it. Most of us didn't create it, folks. But those that did are outside of that bubble, yeah? They're the ones that are gonna fucking pop it. They're the ones holding the fucking pin. And when it goes, we'll be the ones that have to fucking endure the mess and start again, clean up again, and start it all again with some new fucking currency, folks, called Bitcoin or something. Fake currency, another fake currency on top of the fiat fucking currencies, etc. There's a lot to think about in life, folks. And if only children were taught this, you know, if only children were taught that, because children are very clever. Children are far superior fucking brains to the older generation, folks, because their brains are still alive, still ticking, still full of wonderment and ideas and dreams, yeah? If only they were taught this stuff. And there's a reason they're not taught this fucking stuff. There's a reason that they're fucking sat biting the fingernails leaking out of the school window in lessons, folks, the majority. And those that the system has failed are the overachievers, as far as I'm concerned. I'm told the system failed me, yeah? Because I couldn't read and write when I left school. It didn't fail me. It did me a favour. Yeah. It did me a fucking favour, folks. It didn't educate me at all. Didn't feducate me. And I started educating myself in my mid to late 20s, learning to read and write properly. You know, beyond just scratching my name on a piece of paper, folks. And that's something I still very rarely do. You know, I don't sign fuck all. And I've not done too bad for myself. As best I can, I am out of that system. With a peasant up in a tree line here making much ado about the fact that it is at the centre of the shop, that I'm about to walk under its tree, so I won't. It's up there for a reason. Anyway, I hope I've fed you a little bit of fuel so that you can get fired and get activated into just thinking. You know, it's not always about research. You know, sometimes you just got to think logically and think about things. Think about when you're on holiday and the drudgery about being on holiday. We all love going on holiday and in the sun. But think about how even that is, you know, to an extent, an illusionary thing, folks. when we're all paying ridiculous amounts of money to get to where we want to go, to sit in the sun and then be encouraged to spend as much as we can whilst we're away. And we're feeding these fucking corporations. We're not feeding some little guy who owns a little hotel somewhere and sitting by his little pool and that. You know, the majority of it is all corporations. It's all set up to entice us to want to go here, to want to go there, to want to spend this, to spend that, and spend before we even get there on the clothes and all the fucking things we're told we need to take with us. And then all the things we're told we need to bring back for other people. And I'm not putting it down on it, because I like going on holiday. We haven't been for 10 years or so now. I like going to Greece. I like going to Australia, to wherever. But, you know, I sit and think about the wastage. You know, despite the fact we all enjoyed them things, and I would love to do it again. You know, but I would certainly love a system that didn't feed these corporations, these huge hotel chains, where you go and then you're all fighting to get in the queue for your food, you're fighting to get in the queue for the fucking sunbeds in the morning, folks. You know, and then you have to wonder at the end of it all, you get home and you can't wait to get home, you've had enough. You know, you've had a fucking enough. Anyway, that's just my moan this morning, you know. If I offend anyone, you know, it's your choice to either watch or turn off, folks. Anyway, I'll get back. I'm hoping today I don't film anything up in the air. Looking forward to family coming over the weekend and staying with us. Oh, crazy, isn't it, folks? Food prices are set to double or treble. Fuel prices, people have panic buying the fucking stuff. Anyway, they can, putting it in any silly fucking containers they can illegally, as they call it. And we're all falling for the biggest scam of all, folks. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.